Hey guys, Stuart Penlow, the most targeted citizen. Another targeted individual day. You guys want to talk about something that always happens to me at my house? Vehicles. Let's talk about vehicles. Anytime and every time I get another vehicle fixed or running, like I'm in Tina's car now. Took it yesterday or 2 days ago to get the catalytic converter fixed. The guy was supposed to take the catalytic converter off and unclog it and put it back on. Well, he didn't. And this is all because she wouldn't listen to me last year. So this is a dump on Tina Day for all the people who say, how dare you talk about your wife? One thing, she's not my wife. Second thing is I can talk about any damn body I want to. Thirdly, I ain't got nobody else to talk to because I'm a targeted individual. And the people in my life do everything to destroy my life. Oh, you're just saying that. No, I'm not saying that. Many people have observed, either through Tina's voluntarily targeting of my life or being dumb enough to mind control. That's what I deal with daily, is the total alienation of affection at all times. She spends zero time with me whatsoever. Zero. I do everything on my power for that woman. Cook, clean, maintain vehicles, raise her son, which she doesn't do. She doesn't do it. So, I told her, I said, I got it set up with the mechanic. Go over there, drop the car off, tell him we're going to clean the cat, put it back on. Now, remember, this is the catalytic converter that she took tax money last year and had put on her car when I said, do not put that catalytic converter on that car. Remember, our cat got stolen? I said, we'll straight pipe it. There's already one catalytic converter. We'll straight pipe it. I've got a guy that does my work for me, so I'm not worried about illegalities or legalities. Not worried about that when it comes to inspecting vehicles. I've got that handled. I know how to step right on the law without breaking the law. So she goes down there and tells them, oh, put a new catalytic converter on. So what do? They put a catalytic converter on. She paid for one $300 last year. And like I told her, don't do that. And she did it anyway because she got her tax money. Because anytime people like Tina get tax money, they're rich. This is the problem in America. People like Tina with a slave mentality, they get that pocket full of money, which isn't much because under Trump, she got like $4,500 back. Under Biden, she only got like $2,500. Or at least that's what she said. It's saying if I want to believe her or not. So every time the American slaves, the slaves in this country, get their money back at tax time, instead of taking that money and investing it or saving it for something more, they just run, look, I've got money! Woo! So last year she pissed away $300 on a catalytic converter when I told her not to. And the reason I told her not to is because I knew that she put another one on it, then it would get stopped up quickly within a year. So she went and paid for another one. So $600 for a catalytic converter. Here we are. $600. Pissed away on a car that's been totaled. Let's talk about more dumb stuff. When we got hit in this car 3 years ago, thankfully for me, for saving our lives, we got T-boned, but it was a good hit, as in we were safe the whole time because I'm a safe driver. If you get in a car accident, it doesn't matter if it's a little bump, a big bump or not. You go to the hospital. Period. You go to the hospital. Why? Because you need to get checked out. If it's somebody else's fault, that's a minimum of $1,000 in your pocket. Insurance companies have been scamming and conning us for years, so you need to go get checked out to make sure you're right. Because a lot of times when you're in a wreck, you don't know if you're hurt or not. So it's best to do little precaution. Well, when we got hit that time, they totaled the car, gave her $4,500, paid the car off. I think I got $1,500 because I did get hurt. Mason got $1,000, and she was too lazy to go to the hospital for 5 minutes and get checked out for another $1,000. No. So, as she pisses money away, we're right and left. I get her car fixed yesterday. She's had her sister's car for 2 days. So I knew the plan. I knew what the plan was. I already knew it because she can't ride up that mountain without a dependable car. And when she goes up that mountain, she disappears. Maybe 1, 2, 3 days. I don't know. Because I'm not allowed up the mountain. Because I criticized my former employer, which is their her mom and stepdad's boss of their favorite NASCAR driver. This is how ignorant these people are. They don't want me in their house because I criticize my former boss, who is the boss of their favorite NASCAR driver. That's the mentality of these moonbeams. Her mother's a narcissist. She is a control freak, and she will lie, cheat, and steal to get her way. She is a master manipulator. And I see where Tina gets her lying ways, because that woman is a pro at it. She can lie right to your face and smile about it, and there'll be no second guesses, no second thoughts about it. That's what she does. So with Tina's car running, that lets me know there's trouble coming. Well, when Tina's sister left her car, I knew what was up. That means that Tina's going to take her day off, her only day off a week, on Saturdays. That means Tina's going to get in her sister's car and drive up that mountain, because that's what they do. So, knowing that I got her car fixed, I knew what was coming up. I go to get in my Ranger. I get to the top of the road, and it won't move. I had to roll it all the way back down the hill. Get back in it, checked it, looked like there's transmission fluid in it, got in it, went top of the road, went in neutral again, backed it all the way back down. Went and checked it a second time, and it's completely out of transmission fluid. So from the time we left last night in the storm to go see my daughter's birthday, which, by the way, Tina would not have went to except for the fact that my ex-wife was there. You see how that works? If my ex-wife wouldn't have been there, she wouldn't have went, because she doesn't give a rat's behind about being around me. So because my ex-wife was there, which I don't want to be around either, at all. No. I get sick being around that woman. Even within a mile, 10 miles. I'm too close to her, and she's 20 miles, 30 miles away. Anyway, Tina would not even have gone if not for my ex-wife being there. So because I got Tina's car worked on and is now healthy at the expense of $300 instead of $60, now they have shined down on my Ranger, because they don't want my Ranger to run. They don't see. Every time I get another vehicle, remember when it happened to the Bronco 2, I got the Bronco 2, then they started hitting my Ranger, then I fixed the Ranger, then they hit my Bronco, then they hit the Bronco 2, back and forth. We're back into vandalizing vehicles again. This is a non-stop round and round trip, because I have to have my Ranger. Why? Because I was talking about selling my Bronco. Tina's like, well, you can't sell your Bronco. I was like, well, you're not going to buy a house. You don't want a house. You have no desire. What woman, listen, I've got cash. This is from my motorcycle being stolen. I walked around with this cash. I sleep with it. I bathe with it, because I don't trust anybody around my money. Even though $1,000 disappeared from it, and the only one in the house is the woman I live with. What woman on this planet has a man they've been in a relationship with for 12 years who says, let's go buy a piece of property and build a house? What woman isn't in the car saying, honey, let's go? Not the one I'm with. Why? Slave mentality. Slave mentality. I'll be right back. So, needless to say, this is what happens all the time. I get one vehicle going, they hit another one. Every time. And here's another nice shining event. Just like with most slaves in America, they're indoctrinated to be proud to work all the time to have nothing. Did you get that? They're indoctrinated to be proud to work all the time and have nothing. In America, we're trained to be, and well, if you have, I don't want to say even good parents, if you have parents that want reasonable good things for their children, they teach them to be hard workers. We are not put on this earth to be slaves. Now, I appreciate that she works all the time. She doesn't have to. That's what people don't understand. She would have listened to me 3 years ago, she would be retired right now. See, they took away my ability to work. They took that away. They won't let me work. They won't make me go out because my body's wrecked, destroyed. It takes me 2 to 3 hours in the morning just to get out of bed, just to get off the couch. That's how long it takes me just to move. And when I do move, it's just, my body's wrecked. Literally, it's like I've been put on a stretching table and they stretched me out and it scraped all the all the marrow out between my joints. My body's just destroyed. And a lot thanks to Tina, because I had a great case for disability. My disability lawyer told me, she said, this is a no-brainer, you're going to win. She said, you deserve it. She said, I've never seen somebody in as bad a shape as you that deserves disability so much. But what did Tina do several years ago? She didn't want to have it, or she wouldn't have a discussion with me. She didn't want to talk about our issues. So what did she do? She called the law and told the law that I was being crazy, that I was suicidal, which I wasn't suicidal at all. I'm not suicidal. So what did they do? They come lock me up for 3 weeks. She says, and on the paperwork it read, that I had been physically violent to her. Now, she denies she said that, but I would hope she denied it, because I've never laid a hand on the woman, ever. But anytime you're a targeted individual, there's a lot of places you must avoid for your own safety and well-being. The number one place is the doctor, because if you get in front of a doctor and tell them the truth, they will put you in a hospital. It doesn't matter how much proof. Now, and let me tell you this. I don't know what they did to me while they had me in there. All I know is they drugged me, and I was out for a solid week and a half. I did not know. I had no idea where I was or what was going on for a week and a half. I came to him, and he's like, well, you've been combative for the last week and a half. I was like, what do you mean? Where am I at? They drugged me. And there's no telling what technology they put in my body during that time. Now, you don't have to believe it. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking facts, because that's what I do here every day. Speak facts. So while I was in there, they faked a drug test on me and said that I had cocaine in my system. When the cops came and locked me up that night, Longview PD come and got me, I was sitting on the couch reading my Bible. But because she didn't want to argue, she didn't want to talk. Because when people find there's nothing, and it is a form of abuse, but when people are wrong, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be told they're wrong. They don't want somebody telling them what they've done wrong. So everybody out there that says, well, you ought to be grateful, this and that. Well, being grateful is one thing, but let me ask you this. For the last 300 years in this country, when women stayed home, took care of the house, cooked the meals, and raised the children, did we tell the women, well, you're worthless, or that woman needs to get a job? No, we don't. You see, when I took over this job of raising that kid, he would stand in the middle of his bed, pull his little pecker out, and act like the sprinkler, and he would piss all over things. He would headbutt the wall until his head bleeds. Yeah. And from there on out, it only got worse, until finally I got a hold on him. And as I said, his mother has destroyed him on that, because he's and somebody that loves to come and critique. There's never anything positive. It's never a good question. It's never anything inquiring. It's always negativity from this person that comments. You shouldn't say he's ruined. That's terrible. What would you say if you got somebody hooked on drugs? Is that person ruined? Well, they're ruined until they get help and they get freed from that demon of addiction. They're still ruined until they are free from that demon. Take a good kid and get him addicted. Does that make sense? Why would any parent do that to their child? I can't answer why a parent would do that. And by the way, this truck doesn't leak transmission fluid, so it was drained out last night. How long have I driven this truck since I swapped out all the fluids? I put 10,000 miles on this truck since we switched out, back when they messed with it last time. I switched out all the fluids, put Transex in, the transmission treatment, and I haven't had one bit of problems out of it. But as soon as I get her car fixed, then they start hitting it again. Here's that stuff I told you about. Transex, this is the high mileage. They've got another one that I don't know if this one does the seals. Prevents slipping, restores smooth shifting. This one doesn't do the seals. This is just the high mileage, because the last stuff I put in it helped the seals. But this stuff is magic in a bottle. It's great stuff. But tell me what woman out there who's got a good man who doesn't cheat, doesn't lie, doesn't steal, doesn't beat them, doesn't abuse them, that really works their ass off, because I work my ass off around here. Even if I'm working on one of my vehicles, that's my job. I'm working on a vehicle because eventually that vehicle is going to make me money. Because guess what? If it worked for me, she wouldn't have vehicles to drive. Her vehicles wouldn't be paid off. But what woman out there wouldn't want a man to find them a house and build them a house? Why wouldn't you want that? The world is collapsing literally around us. Another train derailment in South Carolina with chemicals on board is polluting the atmosphere. There's like 9 or 10 chemical trains all over America crashing to the ground and killing all of our water supply, just like the Bible says. And it was and then during this whole time we've had 100 food processing plants burned to the ground. Several of them were burnt to the ground by airplanes hitting them. Airplane crashes blowing up food processing centers. Nothing to see here. Perfectly normal. Don't worry about it. It's your imagination. It's all your imagination. So I'm trying to say, listen, I'm trying to save your life. We need to escape from the city. Nope. Why? The slave mentality. I want to get up and be close to work. I want to get up in 10 minutes before work. I want to wake up at 3:40 or 3:50 and get to work at 4. That's what I want to do. I want to work all the time and have nothing. Have nothing. Content. Perfectly fine with a pack of cigarettes and a cell phone. Both of which are dangerous. Both of which will kill you. I'm sorry. I just want more. I don't get it. Just like I knew it. But I'm the bad guy if I say anything, because I'm one of the most hated people on the internet. Why? Because the internet is not used to truth. The internet's used to people coming online. Hey guys, it's a wonderful day. It's a beautiful morning in North Carolina. What are we gonna do today? We're gonna have a wonderful time. Life is great and beautiful. Puppies are great. We love everybody. Please, if you want to be homosexual, please, I love you. I accept you, and I'll prove it to you by having sex with you if you're gay. That's the world we're in. You got the wrong one. Pray for me.